Zero.
Hello from Doha. I'm Hala Mohyeddin with the Al Jazeera NewsHour. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
We have outbreaks in multiple countries right now, increasing at exponential growth rates.
A jump in deaths inside China and infections around the globe. The world struggles to contain the coronavirus. As the economic fallout from the outbreak continues, global airlines are being hit hard. Major military deals and commitments towards a trade agreement as US President Donald Trump wraps up his visit to India. And Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan confirms the deaths of 2 soldiers deployed to Libya.
And global sport continues to be impacted by the coronavirus outbreak, with rugby's 6 nations now under threat. And remembering a basketball legend, Kobe Bryant's widow Vanessa leads the tributes at a memorial service in Los Angeles.
Well, a rise in coronavirus deaths in China and a sharp increase in infections are stoking fears that the global spread of the outbreak is entering a new phase. Iraq has now banned travellers from 7 countries after reporting its first case on Monday. Among the banned countries is Iran. It's confirmed 15 deaths, but has denied reports that the toll could be much higher. Bahrain, Afghanistan, Kuwait and Oman have all reported infections. Now, in Europe, Italian authorities have sealed off the worst affected towns in the north of the country. 7 people have died there, and more than 200 are infected, the highest concentration outside Asia. At least 10 people have died in South Korea, where there are almost 1,000 cases there, and US forces are considering scaling back military exercises. As for China, numbers of new infections in areas outside of Hubei province are falling, but there have been another 71 deaths, mostly in the epicentre. Now, we have correspondents in all the affected regions, from Baghdad to Seoul. But first, let's start with Adrian Brown. He is in Hong Kong for us. Adrian, China is throwing everything they can at this outbreak. Are there any signs that it's starting to come under control?
Well, the death rate on Monday was 71. Now, that is one of the lowest rates we've had for many, many days. So that is the positive. But I think looking at the wider picture, the World Health Organization says that what is happening now is what it fears most, a virus spreading faster than the efforts to contain it. Now, the WHO has said that, it's not prepared to declare a pandemic just yet, but it fears that many countries are unprepared should that scenario happen. And it's that sort of talk that has been unsettling investors across Asia. The Nikkei index in Tokyo opened more than 3% down on Tuesday. Some stocks are being hard hit, like Toyota, the car manufacturer. That's because it relies on Chinese suppliers. And of course, many Chinese factories remain closed, and that is disrupting the global supply chain. But investors are also worried about something else, Hala. China is a driver of economic growth, but it's also got a lot of consumption. Chinese people are big spenders. They have a burgeoning middle class, but that burgeoning middle class simply isn't travelling or spending like they normally would at the moment. But economists also argue that actually, if this virus is brought under control, hopefully soon, then there will be a rebound because of all that pent-up demand. Now, across the border in China, where, as we say, the latest death rate has gone up by 71, there are reports in state media that China might begin testing a vaccine soon. State media reports that a professor at Tianjin University has been testing this virus. He's had 4 oral doses with no side effects. But a lot of experts warn, of course, that, it could be many months before a vaccine is developed. And once it is, there would have to be months of trials, clinical trials, to determine it's safe and, of course, effective.
OK, thank you very much indeed. That's Adrian Brown reporting from Hong Kong. Let's cross now to Seoul, where we can join Rob McBride. Rob, quite a large outbreak in South Korea, but most of the cases are centring around the city of Daegu. What more can you tell us?